Well, let's hope this one holds. I've been having a problem with this laptop crashing while I record. So let's see if it works. Let's see, our instructions here are to classify something as inverse, joint, or direct variation. And you have to solve for the variable to see this one, which is an easy thing to do. You just triple both sides, and you get y equals 3x. This is going to be direct variation. This is y equals some constant times x, so it's direct, with the constant of variation being 3. This third one up here is highlighted. We just add 3 to each side and we get x plus 3. This is not variation. This is a line. What you've been informed of is y equals kx. You've been informed of y equals kx over y, or y equals kxy. So this is not variation of any sort, no k value. Let's see, pay attention to these instructions. They say write an equation first and then do something. If you don't write the equation first and then do something, you don't get credit for it. You have to write the equation. So it says they vary inversely, which means y is x over a constant. There's my form, plug in. Negative 1/6 is negative 12 over a constant. Then you got to figure out which constant is. Well, I'm going to cross multiply here. Negative k equals negative 72. So the constant of variation is 72. With that being known, y is simply x over 72. There is my equation. Now find something. All right, now I find something. I'm supposed to find x when y is negative 1/6. Oh, then find y when x is 3. So y is 3 over 72, which should be 1/24. Easy peasy. All right, what's up next? More of this, write an equation, then do something. Then find z when x is negative 4 and y is 5. And we're told that we vary jointly, so where y equals some constant times x, z, or actually, in this case, z is some constant times x and y, the way I wrote these out. So I need to know the constant. So z is 15, there's a constant, x is a negative quarter, and y is a negative 3. So if I multiply a negative quarter and negative 3 together, I get the positive 3/4. I hit it with the reciprocal idea. I multiply both sides by 4/3. And this would be 60 over 3, which is 20. 20 is my constant. So my equation becomes z equals 20xy. And now I find z when x is negative 4 and y is 5. So z equals 20 times a negative 4 times a 5. That should be negative 400. Let's see, what are we supposed to do here? We're supposed to write an equation. W varies inversely with y and jointly with x and z. So I saw inversely, which means divide. I saw joint, which means to multiply. So these are pretty simple. I vary inversely with y, so some constant over y, and jointly with x and z. Ta-da! That's how hard those are. Backside, 13 is highlighted. Blues vary directly as greens and inversely as whites squared. So here is multiply, here's divide. We'll call that w squared, b, g. So blues are some constant times the greens over w squared. There's my equation. Find the constant. If there were 3 greens when there were 4 blues, so 4 equals k times 3, and 2 whites over 2 squared. So 4 equals k times 3 over 4. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal here again, 4/3. I'm a little shaky this morning, sorry. We get 16/3 as my constant. Now I have an equation. It says blues are 16/3 of the greens divided by W squared. So how many greens were present for 2 blues and 4 whites? So blue is 2, white is 4. 2 equals 16/3. We don't know the greens, over 4 squared. That's going to be a 16, so I'm going to 16 both sides. 32 is 16/3 of the greens. I'm going to triple. 96 is 16 greens. I'm going to divide by 16. And I'm going to get that the greens are 6, because 6 times 16 is 96. I understood the assignment in 4th grade. I learned how to multiply. See, 17 and 20 are chosen. You're supposed to check for any extraneous solutions. Pretty simple little problem. Add 5, 2 roots of x is 50. Divide by 2. Root x is 25. Counteract square rooting by squaring. A little big. X is 625. That is not going to be extraneous. 20, if the sine of a is root 3 over 7. So what you do is you draw yourself a little right triangle. By the way, think about the sine ratio being opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite of angle A is root 3, hypotenuse is 7. C is always the right angle. All right. It says, what is the measure of angle A? What is the cosine of A? So before I do anything, I'm going to find this missing side right here that we'll call x. You know Pythagorean theorem. It says x squared plus root 3 squared is 7 squared. If we square both sides, this would be 49. Take away 3, 46. So x is root 46, which does not simplify. I'm going to go ahead and address this part right now, and then I'll go back to angle A. Cosine of angle A would be adjacent over hypotenuse, which is root 46 over 7. Now how do I find the sine of A? So since the sine of A is root 3 over 7, the measure of angle A is the arc sine of root 3 sevenths, which you did last year in geometry. I know you did. I'll put my calculator in degree mode because you guys don't understand radians yet. And I'm going to do arc sine of root 3 over 7. Go out 2 decimal places, 14.33 degrees. And there is homework 8-1 in all his or her glory, whatever it is. Please don't have crashed.